Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do Numpy, and what I've decided, at least for now, is I'm gonna do the first third today, and then in the next video I'll do the last 2/3, because that should work pretty well. Alright, so let's continue. Alright, so Numpy is a package for data science, so it's gonna be a lot of what I learned about R is supposed to do, the statistical stuff. They gave us an array called baseball, and we're supposed to convert it into a Numpy array, which I'm assuming is either something that's more efficient about Numpy arrays, or something that we may need to use in other packages. There are other packages that maybe need a Numpy array rather than a regular array. So the first thing, they want us to import Numpy as NP. Now they pretty much gave us the words, but if I couldn't remember this, I could just look it up online. I should be able to find it pretty easily based on what they told us. And then we want to print the type of NP baseball, which is the variable that we're supposed to create. So we have this NP baseball equals, and then they tell us to use NP array to create a Numpy array from a regular array. So let's see if I understand this. We have NP, which is the Numpy package, dot array, and we need to send it our standard Python array, which is baseball. And that should convert it for us. Oh, got a spelling error. Class numpy.nd array. Alright, let's submit. Great job! Okay, this is a lot to read. I haven't finished reading it yet, but I can see from line 15 that we just need to print out NP height m. So that is a variable we're supposed to create. Convert NP height into m. So let's do NP height m equals, and I can figure that out later. Okay, now we're gonna print out, I'm going backwards, I know. This is probably not a good thing to do. Oops, NP height n. But I'm not always the best at thinking through things. Alright, create a Numpy array from height n. Okay, one thing I do understand, height n is a list of, I assume made up, but heights of MLB players. They gave us, the MLB gave us this, however we're importing it. I assume they gave it to us in a file, and we've read in the file somewhere, so we have this variable called height n, which is available as a regular list, which is an array in Python. Now we're creating a Numpy array called NP height n. Oops. Okay, I messed up. We're supposed to do NP, because line 4 they've imported Numpy as NP. Dot. Pretty sure that is not the right. Let me see. NP np dot. Okay. So because I can see the output from our last, whatever you call it, exercise, we have np.array baseball, so np.array np underscore height underscore in. So that should do the conversion for us. Then we printed out height in, np height in. Now we have to convert np height in, a numpy array, to m. Oh, m is meters. So it's expressed in inches, so we need to convert inches to meters. So they're saying this, which sounds incredibly easy. Let me see if this works. np height m equals np height in times 0.0254. All right, let's run the code. No, it isn't wrong. Oh, what am I doing? I know what I did wrong. We're creating a new variable called np height in, and that's equal to this numpy array that comes from height in. Okay, so this is a numpy array, and so that's heights in inches, and this is converted to meters. If you have a list of things that you want something to happen to every item in the list, according to this, all you have to do is just give it the list array and tell it what you want it to do, and it'll do that. You don't have to have the for loop. That is insane to me. I don't know if it's different because it's on data camp, or if this is one of these new things that these programming languages are coming up with. Oh, that is insane. I tried to give it 5 stars. I messed up clicking. I was looking at too many things. Okay, so they're giving us np height m, which is the same thing we created last time. To do that, they're making a numpy array of height in, and they're multiplying it by this 0.254, which also shows that you can do it all in one line. You don't have to split it up. They are splitting it up because it helps to learn, to be able to see the different steps that are happening. But that is a good step to do. Code cleanup is how can you make it shorter but still readable? Okay, so it looks like according to the instructions on line 9, we're gonna do multiple steps on one line also. So our variable is meant to be called np weight kilograms. That is equal to a numpy array of weight pounds, and then you multiply it because that's now the pounds, and we want to do some kind of math to make it into kilograms. Okay, and here's what we're multiplying it by. 0.43592. Alright, now we calculate the BMI. So we want a variable called BMI, and that's equal to weight, so np weight kilograms over height, which is np height meters. And now when we print BMI, it should be all 1,000 records. But again, they shorten it for this. Alright, so there's BMIs of baseball players. Nope. Okay, you need to use 2 stars. Oh! Height. So you see this. Okay, height. Hang on. In the calculation of BMI, height is to an exponent of 2. Okay. I wouldn't be able to recognize BMI, so I wouldn't know that had been wrong by looking at it. Alright, now when we submit, alright. Lightweight baseball players. I just figured out where it says height in, it doesn't mean height that they've read in, which they did somehow. It means inches. This was probably obvious. I did not get it. Okay, so they're starting with basically what we did last time to eventually calculate this BMI. Okay, this one I don't understand. For Numpy arrays, you can use Boolean Numpy arrays. So pi is equal to y is greater than 5. Y is greater than 5 would evaluate to either true or false depending on what y is. So the y of high is the y. Oh, wait, is this similar to how a Boolean is either 0 or 1? So if high is true, it's the y of 1, and if high is false, then it's the y of 0. No, I think that's wrong. I think this is somehow related to when we did a multiplication on a list, that it's actually running this true false on everything in the array. I could be wrong about that, but that's what this first bullet point, create a Boolean Numpy array. The element of the array should be true if the corresponding baseball player's BMI is below 21. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna create a variable called light, which is equal to BMI less than 21. But do you see how this isn't an array? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me why they're saying this is an array. Alright, print out the array light. So we'll do print light. Let me run this and see what happens. Oh, because BMI is a list. That's how it's doing this. It is similar to that you can do multiplication on a list instead of using a for loop. This is creating a list of true falses. Okay, now we have to print out the BMIs for all players whose BMI is below 21. So everywhere that light is true, we have to print the BMI. Oh, and you don't even need an if statement because you're using... Hang on, so if we do print BMI, and then you use your square brackets to select, and you're doing light. So that should only be the true values. If I run this, oh wow, look at that. Okay. I did not know Python could do all that. Yeah, it appears that only 11 of the more than 1,000 baseball players have a BMI under 21. Alright, multiple choice. Hang on. One thought I have is that the reason you can do all this work with lists is that has to do with this being a NumPy array. That's my thought right now. Maybe this isn't a Python thing, maybe this is a NumPy thing. But I can't remember if we've seen something like this before. Okay, so what they're saying is, I only want to go through these because I'm trying to give some kind of information about what's going on. But I have no idea what's going on here. So I'm going to take a hint and see if they'll give more of an explanation. Oh, are we not trying to tell what type it is? Should I just be putting array 452? Yeah, this is all messed up, which I assume has to do with whatever the computer problem I had that I had to reload the session. It was definitely my computer, not DataCamp. Wait a second. Oh, 4, so it's adding 1 plus 3. 1 plus 4 is 5, and 2 plus 0 is 2. So it's gotta be one of these middle ones because the first one and the last one have too many options. So we're saying 4 plus 0, 3 plus 2, and 0 plus 2, or 3 plus 1, 4 plus 1, and 2 minus 1. So the difference is when you add the 4 and the 0, or the 3 and the 1, you get the same answer. When you add the middle values, 3 and 2, or 1 and 4, you still get 5. So they're both right there. But the last digit we need is a 2. Dude, this was so simple. And so this option, this third option, you have a 2 plus a negative 1, which is 2 minus 1, which is 1, which is incorrect. So it has to be the second option. Dude, I made that way too difficult. Great job. True is converted to 1, false is converted to 0. Okay, back to normal. And then this, I believe, is our last one before we start a new video. Okay, I want to make this point. You've seen it with your own eyes. Python lists and NumPy arrays sometimes behave differently. I do not think I have. Maybe there's some things, but I don't know. So what they're saying is, if x equals this array they have defined here, ABC, and you say x of 1, it's going to output the value at index 1, which is b. If you convert this to a NumPy array, and then you try to output the value at index 1, it's still going to be b. So they're just showing that that still works. But that's similar to a lot of languages. So that better still work. Okay, so we're starting with NumPy being imported as NP, and we're starting with our two NumPy array variables, the weight in pounds and the height in inches. And they just want us to output two values. So here, we're gonna print the weight. So we're doing NP weight in pounds of index 50. And then here, print out the subarray of height. So we're going to do print, and we're going to do NP height in inches of. Okay, now this I have no idea how to do, and I already wasted 15 XP finding out that all I had to do in the last exercise was find the value of an array. So I'm just gonna look this up. Python, array subset? It's kind of what they're asking for. Alright, let's look at Stack Overflow. I like Stack Overflow. Okay, so it looks like here is how you do a subset. It's the colon and the comma. Okay. This is Python Central. This is another one that I like. So you do, I don't know what the comma was in that last example, but I should be able to do 100:110, and that's gonna return 101 to 110. So let me go back to data camp. So I should, if I want to include 100, I should start with 99. And then do colon and then 110. According to what I saw, this should work. Looks right to me. Let's submit and see what happens. Nope. Oh, you know what? Because I looked at the instructions wrong. That thing said use 1:4 to return whatever. I was probably off one of the indexes because of index 0. And honestly, I was wondering if that was wrong because of the way they worded it. It said up to and including, which means it would be more difficult to get 110. And they didn't say that on 100, so 100 should be fairly easy. Yep, that should have been way easier than it was. I'm going to stop here, and then in the next video, we should be able to do these 4 and these 3. Oops, please don't go. Sorry, I know. Talk to the computer. Does this not have a check mark because that's the one that I asked for a hint? Okay, so I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you for watching. Good luck on not making stupid simple mistakes like I have been. And let me know what projects you're working on.